Hey, what's up? I'm here in Parco Cascine in Florence, and today I want to share about this idea of what it means to search for the ground of being. You know, um, I've been reflecting a lot about what it is that we're truly after. I feel for some people it takes a lifetime to realize that lots of money may not bring the sense of resolution that we may truly be after. Ultimately, it always feels like needing to achieve something in the outward world that, on a subconscious level at least, would represent a sensation to us that we associate probably with the womb, but in any case with feeling totally blissfully content. And for some of us in this lifetime, perhaps fortunately, although initially it may not appear so, it takes a very brief time to realize that no amount of money will provide that sense of resolution. And it gets more subtle than that if you have the courage to go after your goals and perhaps achieve them, and then realize that too it could be like a concert, or winning an athletic competition, or being selected and signed to an agency that's important in your industry. And then all it takes is really like finding out that you've been betrayed or cheated on, or done wrong, and you're back to square one. Despite all the work you did to achieve that, you still feel empty and torn. So, what is it that we're truly after? Some of us have also followed spiritual paths, or on spiritual paths, and the most ancient traditions often include some level of reclusion, of spending time in solitude and meditating, reflecting. And I think there's immense wisdom and immense substance in that. But in my personal case, and perhaps I sense there's been a similar feeling amongst a lot of other people, it may dawn upon you that wasn't the path you were born into this life to do. If it requires going into a mountain and not socializing with anybody and not realizing any tangible purpose in society, then something about it doesn't feel right, despite the fact that you may feel moments of divine connection. So I'm exploring this idea that there is the ground of being, right? And the idea that we are searching for the ground of being, what it means to truly be, because there's an element of it, of engagement with life. Certainly interactions, meaningful relationships with other humans, meaningful work, and a sense of what abundance means to you, what wealth means to you, and how you share your wealth generously with others, and receive wealth from others in return. But I've tweaked this idea to rather than feel so disconnected from it, to say that we're searching for the ground of being, rather to contemplate how we might be resting in the ground of being. If it is impossible to not be, it's certainly possible, and we are all to some extent identified with the ego, right? And perhaps that's the closest you can get to not truly being. But even in that moment, to some extent, you are part of the entirety of existence, as is everybody else. So we are constantly connected to the divine and to the entirety of existence, and all I suppose the work is realizing that on more and more and more profound levels, and the more they become apparent, perhaps the more we feel like we can rest. Restful sense of giving to ourselves the time we need to realize it's a long walk in life. You can't sprint it all. It's a marathon, if you will, or perhaps a hike, or perhaps a stroll, but it does require moving. But it allows us to be good to ourselves, no matter what our circumstances. There is no rush. Evolution takes time, and the divine is always with us. I offer you my blessings. I hope this has been helpful, at least to spark some reflection, perhaps. And I'll see you next time.